We're going to the land of milk and honey, where you don't need no money. Talking about the journey deep inside, with living in spirit as a guide, where your imagination can run free, and you can realize all your dreams. We're talking about the journey deep inside, with living in spirit as a guide. Everything you want is already there. Whatever you desire, it will appear. Oh yeah, yeah. We'll be living in heaven here on earth, experience life for all it's worth. We're talking about the journey deep inside, living in spirit as a guide. But what you believe you can achieve, let go our horses run free. We're talking about the journey deep inside, living in spirit as a guide. Everything you want is already there. Whatever you desire, it will appear. Oh yeah, yeah. We're going to the land of you don't need no money. Infinite spirit, your imagination can run free, and you can realize all your dreams. Talking about the journey, Let the spirit be your guide, let the spirit be your guide, let the spirit be your guide. Let the spirit be your guide, let the spirit be your guide, let the spirit be your guide. I'm talking about the inward journey. 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 We're living in heaven here on earth. They're talking about the journey. They're talking about the journey. And what you believe you can achieve. Talking about the journey deep inside. Talking about the journey. Talking about the journey. Yeah. You don't need no money. Talking about the land of milk and honey. Everything you want is already there. We've been living in heaven here on earth. Yes, we will.
Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, and welcome to another fabulous Sunday morning. I'm so glad you're here, whether you're here in person joining us or whether you're online. It's just good to feel your presence this morning. My name is Reverend Chris Alexander. I'm the senior minister here at Celebration Center for Spiritual Living. And if this is your first time here, an extra special welcome to you. We would love to learn more about you and see what we can do to support you as a beloved spiritual community. And so if you would, you can scan this QR code right here, or you can go to the bit.ly address down there. That will take you to our guest card where you can fill out all of that information, let us know who you are, and we can get to know you just a little bit better. Also, you might notice that I sound really good this morning. That is because you also might notice that you can see my face without this big cumbersome microphone. We got a new microphone for the podium. So this is going to be so awesome for things like Tell Us, because you just walk up and speak. And look, you can just adjust it to wherever it needs to be. I love our new microphone. I love technology. I am so grateful, and thank you to our donor who supplied this microphone for our center so that we could have an easy way to get the word out. Today we have an incredible service planned for you. We are continuing this conversation of root and reboot, grounding into our spiritual principles. I will be talking about I will not. I will be talking about the universal voice this morning. And also, we're going to be talking a little bit about Martin Luther King Jr. this morning, since tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day. Also, we have Lynn Hollyfield, our music director, who will be providing the music along with Jen Fay and Brent Mast. And today, y'all, one of the things that I love about being a minister is getting to watch y'all just be amazing in the world. So today we get to have a song that is written and performed by Jen Fay. What? And yes, big round of applause for that. And in addition to that awesomeness, Lynn Hollyfield, our music director, wrote a book. What? Oh my God. So big round of applause for that also. So I'm just holding up the book today. It's called The Tree, the Ship, and Me. Where can we buy this at, Lynn? It's on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, all the places that you would normally buy a book. Go pick up this book. It comes with the song that she wrote for the book, or the book was written for this. I don't know. It's really awesome. And if you want to hear the song and everything like that, stay tuned and join us in 2 weeks. She's going to be performing that song right here on Sunday morning. So we just have amazing people in this community, don't we? Let's give a round of applause to all of y'all. And we have our beloved Judy Blaze as our practitioner on platform, joining us from Iowa. And in case you don't know, I know I've said this a couple times, but I think it's important to say again, Judy is now officially our practitioner. So I had been introducing her for a really long time as our guest practitioner. Well, now she is ours. She is hanging our license here at Celebration Center, and we're so glad to have her as well. So yes. If you would like to receive prayer from our practitioners and ministers, you can do that in a couple of different ways. You can scan this QR code. You can also go to celebrationcenter.org and click on Request Affirmative Prayer. That is going to both lead you to a form that you can fill out, and our ministers and practitioners pray on those throughout the week, as well as at our Ministry of Prayer on Mondays at 1:30. This month for Lutheran Social Services, we are collecting lip balm and laundry detergent. So go out and buy some lip balm, buy some laundry detergent, some chapstick, things like that. Tis the time of year where everybody needs a chapstick, and you need your car chapstick and your purse lip balm and your pocket lip balm and your at-home chapstick, right? So pick up some of those and bring them in unused, please. And laundry detergent as well. I am starting a new thing called Queer Spirit. So if you are a part of the LGBTQIP2SAA plus community, if that calls to you in any sort of way, we are going to be meeting monthly on the third Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can do the math for whatever time zone you are in. That is a different Zoom link. So you cannot just go to celebrationcenter.org to find that Zoom link. You do have to register in advance to be a part of that group. You can go to celebrationcenter.org to register, and then the Zoom link will be automatically sent to you after you register. And we look forward to seeing you there on Thursday. I'm also next we have a class starting that I am so excited about, y'all. It's called Visioning, the Pathway of Transformation, and it is going to be Thursday evenings from 7 to 9, February 2nd through March 9th. And it's on Zoom, and that is going to be on the Celebration Center Zoom. It is $90 for those classes, for those 6 classes, and we are going to be going into states of consciousness, visioning, how to implement visioning into your life, how to set goals based on intuition, all kinds of really, really cool stuff. And this is in conjunction with Unity of Fairfax. So myself and Reverend Russell Highland are teaching this, and I am just so excited to be bringing this to y'all. So be sure you must register ahead of time so we can see who all is going to be there and plan accordingly. So please go on and register for this event. It's going to be awesome. And then finally, I have decided to do a thing. So I am reading the Living the Science of Mind book out loud on YouTube, chapter by chapter, because I can, because I thought I need to read this anyways, so I might as well read it to everyone else. This is the book of the year for Centers for Spiritual Living. So if you are interested in just listening to somebody else read Living the Science of Mind, you don't want to have to read it yourself, you can go to Reverend Chris Alexander on YouTube and find those YouTube chapters. I have about 3 posted. It's going to be randomly throughout the year, but by the end of the year, together, we will have read the whole book out loud. And then finally, today after the service, our hybrid community connection is our drum circle with Brent Mast. And so we are really excited to have that. Please plan on staying if you're here in the room. If you're around and you want to come join us, it's at 12:30 here, or you can join us on Zoom. Bring your drum and just pop online, celebrationcenter.org, and click on Enter Zoom Events, and that drum circle will be available at 12:30 today. And with all of that, I would like to invite Jen, Lynn, and Brent up for our opening song.
Okay, so I hope you will join us and sing on this tune. Everything is Music.
To the place where everything is music. Everything is music. Everything is music. When we come to the place where everything is music. Everything is music. Let it play. Tell me, why do you stay in jail when the door is wide open? The door is wide open. The door is wide open. Tell me, why do you stay in jail when the door is wide open? Let the beauty that you love be what you do. Stop your talking now and open up the window, the one right there in the middle of your heart. Your hands and step down in the circle. You know you got no reason to keep yourself apart. Well, wake up sad and empty. Don't go back to sleep. No, no, don't go back to sleep. No, no, don't go back to sleep. Well, the day you wake up sad and empty, don't go back to sleep. There's a million ways to kneel and kiss the ground. Don't worry now about saving all these songs. There's so many more just waiting to be found. If all these instruments should disappear, there'll still be something coming up from way down in the ground. Well, to the place where everything is music. Everything is music. Everything is music. Yeah, we've come to the place where everything is music. Everything is music. Let it play. Everything is music. Let it play. Everything is music. Let it play.
Good morning, everyone. This is the time when we go into our meditative state. So I invite you now to enter this sacred time when we do our 3-part breath. And as we breathe together, we're remembering our oneness, and we feel our oneness with everyone in this whole entire universe. So let's breathe in. Hold and breathe out. Breathe in. Hold and breathe out. And breathe in. Hold and breathe out. And now let's say our vision together. We are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. Today's reading comes from Ernest Holmes. It's one of my favorites, and I recently read it in the material that Rev Ryan created for the grief class. So it's perfect. Since the only life you can have is the life of the spirit within you, you need but permit its radiance to flow through your thought into self-expression. You are surrounded by a dynamic force, a great surge of living power. You are immersed in and saturated with the vital essence of life. Its presence permeates everything, binding all together in one complete whole. So let's take a moment to allow that permeating presence to be that energy that moves in and through every particle of our being. Let us feel it, experience it, for God is to be experienced. I know that I am one with that infinite creative source that we call God, we call life, we call spirit, creator. That simple energy that beats our heart, opens our mind, and allows us to be the expression that we were brought here to be. So I claim and accept for myself and everyone here and everyone who may ever watch this service that we are fulfilling God's purpose for our life right here, right now, by simply being open to that flow, that creative flow from the very source of life, allowing ourselves to be the expression of that oneness, remembering that not only are we one with each other, but we are one with infinite, unconditional love. We are one with perfect wisdom. We are one with abiding peace. We are one with infinite supply, prosperity, and abundance. For that is who we are. We are of God. We are divine. And there's no separation between me and my desires, my wants, my good. The gifts of life itself are always flowing through me, and so I simply open and allow them to be. So I know that each one of us is blessed with this knowing, which opens up our lives to fabulous creativity, loving relationships, purposeful work, and divine play. And I know that everyone here also is that deep expression of God that allows for the world to be brighter, more radiant. For our light does not stay simply in our own aura. That light broadcasts itself throughout the universe. So right here, right now, as we speak and pray and hold in our heart that loving presence, we are creating a world of love and light and power and good. So I'm so grateful to know this. So grateful that this community is so blessed and so uplifted to be the expression of that oneness. I'm just grateful to know that our word, as we have spoken this morning, are acted upon by an immutable force that can only say yes. And so in love and gratitude, I allow that to be right now. We let it be. We know it is complete and done. And so it is.
Okay, I'm going to share an original tune. This is called Love Surrounds Us. The times when I am lonely, really not alone. And the times of uncertainty, I feel down to my bones. Then I see a raindrop catch the morning light, and the million others break through my night. 'Cause every single moment I need you. The wind is calling this bird to fly, lifting off the covers, I will find you. The truth is you've never left my side, 'cause love surrounds us. Love surrounds us. Love surrounds us. No doubt in my mind. I felt broken so lost at times. Left so many words unspoken, trying to find the rhyme. I missed a little sparrow, a mystery song she sings. Together we realize the message she brings. 'Cause in every single moment I need you. The wind is calling this bird to fly, lifting off the covers, I will find you. The truth is you've never left my side. Love surrounds us. Love surrounds us. Love surrounds us. Take the doubt from my mind. You can truly see me, I feel it's true. I feel uplifted and I remember I have to believe it too. The path to the top, the winding climb to a sense of knowing. Now I can easily glide. It's every single moment I need you. The wind is calling this bird to fly, lifting off the covers, I will find you. The truth is you've never left my side. Love surrounds us. Love surrounds us. Love surrounds us. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
Thank you, Lynn. So, if you were here last week, you may remember that we talked about this idea of God as a concept. And we talked about how oneness is the thing, right? That is our primary belief, is in oneness, that there is just one thing going on. And we talked about how that one thing is so infinite, so absolute, and so eternal that as soon as we think that we have found it or we can name it or describe it, we can know that it's not that there is something beyond that, because we are finite. We live in these finite bodies with these finite minds, and so we cannot possibly fathom what that oneness is, but we can know that it is there. So, the immediate question that kind of comes up that I think about is, who are you? Who are you? This is a question that has been asked throughout time and the ages and in many different ways. Right here we see the caterpillar asking Alice, who are you? And so that's the question that I ask when I start to think about oneness is, okay, if I know that there's only one thing going on, what does that say about me? What can I know about myself? And so the first thing that I did was I looked to our beloved Ernest Holmes, our founder, to see what he had to say. And what he says is, God is always God. No matter what our emotional storm or what our objective situation may be, there is always a something hidden in the inner being that has never been violated. We may stumble, but always there is that eternal voice forever whispering within our ear, that thing which caused the eternal quest, that thing which forever sings and sings. That thing which forever sings and sings. And so, what is it singing through? What does it have to sing with? Well, the answer is us. That we are the expression of spirits. That if there is only oneness going on, what that must mean is that we are that also. We are that also. And what's really cool about that, if we are that also, what we can know about ourselves, if we know about God that it is so big, so grand, so infinite that we cannot possibly fathom it, because every single time that we name it or we describe it, we know that it is greater than even that. If we are that too, that means that every time we dive down into our own depths or we get to know ourselves at a deeper level, we can know that we are more than that we can never fully know ourselves. And that it can be a little scary, a little intimidating, right? To know that you will never fully know yourself. But at the same time, doesn't that open you to the awe and to the mystery that Ed was saying last week? Doesn't that open you to the fact that, wow, I am so great and grand that not even I can fully know myself, let alone the universe. I can't go out and learn all there is to learn. I can't go in and learn all there is to learn. And so there's this really beautiful sort of image of diving into ourselves, and the deeper we go, we find that we are more and more and more expansive than anything we could have possibly imagined when we just look at the surface of ourselves. And what that means even further is that when I look at you or whoever, when I look at you and I see this physical body, not only can I never know you in your totality, but you can't even, if you can't know you, I most certainly can't know you in your totality. And so relationships get to be this ever expansive, creation together, where as I get to know myself, I get to know you, and as you get to know yourself, you get to know me, and it's this beautiful cosmic dance. And that to me is really exciting, because it means that I get to set aside my judgment or my well, I know why they did that. Right? We have to set all of that aside, because the reality is I can't know why you did what you did. Sometimes you don't even know why you did what you did. Have you ever done something and you're almost watching yourself going, what are you doing right now? What is happening? I have a funny, mildly inappropriate story, but here we go. When I used to think, I used to practice polyamory, and I used to be so good at it. I thought that I was just the queen of unattachments. I was so good at just letting you be you and letting me be me, and we're all just love here together. And then I came out, and I started dating women mostly, and all of a sudden, oh my God, I was so attached. And I remember this one time, I had never fought. I don't fight. That's what I used to say. I don't fight in relationships. If you want to fight, then I'm just going to walk away, because I am too godlike to fight. That's what I used to, I didn't say it with quite so much drama and finesse, but I used to say things like that, right? And then all of a sudden, I started dating people that I actually really liked. And oh my goodness, I was so attached. And I remember one time in particular with my first girlfriend, and we were yelling at each other in the living room. And I was having this out of body experience. I was like, who are you? You don't fight. What is happening here? And it was because I had never dated somebody that I actually cared enough about to fight with, to want to stay through the discomforts. And so I tell you all of that to say that oftentimes we discover parts of ourselves and then we do things from those parts. Maybe they've been unconscious or subconscious or stuffed down or whatever they are. And all of a sudden they come rising to the surface and we tend to judge ourselves for those things. But what if instead we just stepped back and we went, who are you? Oh my goodness, I just opened up a whole pot. I'm like in a cave of I don't even know what, discovering and uncovering something about myself that I didn't know before. How cool is that? How magical. How magical. Because I feel like my relationship with myself would be pretty boring if I had me all figured out by 14, right? Or 20. There'd be like, 90 more years of just being with the same old boring person that I've just figured out, right? But instead, no, there's always something more to uncover, always something more to be revealed. And that, to me, that is so profound. And so if we know that God is always God, and we know that we're that too, and we know that we're never going to fully know ourselves, then what we know is that we are the individualized expression of spirits. And so I have another quote for that. Ernest Holmes says, "It is impossible to plumb the depths of the individual mind because the individual mind is not really individual, it is individualized." So these two things, they mean very different things, individual and individualized. And so what is the difference? If I am an individual, then I am over here being my individual self, and you're over there being your individual self, and you're over there being your individual self, and there's nothing that connects us. But rather, if we are individualized, then there is this one thing, we're like octopus arms, right? There is this one thing that we all are, and we are simply the individualized expressions of that one. And so you may look like an individual over there and an individual over there and an individual over here, but the truth is that we are all connected. We are all connected. We are actually individualized. And so the deeper, it's kind of like an octopus, but also kind of not, because the deeper that we dive into ourselves, the more we find that we are connected. Maybe it's an upside down octopus. I don't know. I didn't work this metaphor out ahead of time. But the more that we dive down into ourselves, the more connected we get with one another. And how amazing and profound is that? And so when I say, who are you? Well, you can answer, you can tell me all of the things that you know about yourself, but you can also honestly say, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to discover about myself just in this conversation. I don't know what you're going to open or unlock in me. I don't know what I don't know. And the deeper that we dive, I don't know about y'all. Maybe this is just me, but the more that I know, the more that I realize I don't know anything, right? That's a quote, right? The more that I know, the more I realize I really don't know anything. And so there's the percentages of what I know, what I know I don't know. Like I know I don't know how to speak Japanese, or I know I don't know how to cook elaborate meals, or I know I don't know how to, I don't know, drive an 18-wheeler, right? So there are things that I know that I don't know. And then there are things that I don't know that I don't know. There are things that I don't even know are available for me to not know them, right? And I'll look up the exact percentages because I was actually thinking about this for a future talk. So this is going to come back up, y'all. We are not done with this concept, but it's something like 90%, 95% of the knowledge in the world is things that we don't know we don't know. What? That to me is mind-blowing. That even as I dive into the depths of myself, that remains true. That the deepest that I can ever dive, there's still like 95% of me that I don't know that I don't know. And so then when I'm having this out-of-body experience and I'm going, who are you? What are you doing? And maybe it's not because you're fighting. Maybe it's something else. Maybe all of a sudden there's an emergency and you step in and you're calm and you're collected and you know exactly what to do for that person and you know what to say and you know how to support them and you're just there and you're so present in the now moment and you're going, who are you? Where did you learn this? How did you know that that's what that person needed in that moment? Or have you ever said something to someone and you're like, I don't know about that, but it just keeps coming up, just keeps popping into my mind, so I'm just going to say it. And you say it and they're like, that's it. That's the thing that I needed to hear. And you look at yourself and you go, who are you? How did you know? How did you know? Right? How cool is that? That to me is just the most profound thing. And we all have that ability. And so we can tap into that. We can dive into that not knowing. And we can rest and surrender and trust ourselves that there's like more than 95%. I've just made up a percentage, but there's this whole part of this infinite part of us that we don't know we don't know. That is so cool. And that what we don't know, that we don't know, it leads back into that universal voice. It is that universal voice. And so it becomes this as above, so below, that the more open we get to the universe, the more expansive we become. So the bigger that we make ourselves, the more we expand our consciousness, the more we enter the infinite. And at the same time, the more we contract our consciousness and we go within and we dive in, the more expansive it gets in this beautiful divine paradox. Yes. And so we get to not sacrifice principle even on special occasions. Principle cannot be sacrificed even on special occasions. So what does that mean? So first of all, what is principle? Principle is that all is oneness. And what do we like to do? Well, it's all God, but it's all God and you didn't do that very well, or it's all God, but I made a big mistake, or it's all God and I'm so ashamed, right? Don't we do that? It's all God, but. And so principle, all of a sudden we try to sacrifice it when things get really hard. And yet we don't get that luxury. Principle is not sacrificed even on special occasions. And so when it gets hard, what we can know is we are just diving into a cave that we've never been in before. That all of it is God. And so if all of it is God, then the challenges and the obstacles and the hardships and those emotions and the fighting and the angst and the anger and the rage and the grief and the sadness and the whatever else it is, that too is God. And so we get to dive into those moments. And maybe there's a lesson there and maybe there isn't. Maybe it just sucks, and that's okay because it's still all God. God is in the suck. That's been like one of my favorite phrases lately. It's all God. And so we can dive into it and we can trust that we don't know what we don't know and that we're going to get to the other side of it. That no matter what it is, there's another side of it. And maybe it's just, man, that was really bad, and now we're on the other side moving forward, and maybe we get to the other side and we go, oh, there was a lesson in there, or, oh, this turned out to be the best thing ever. Or maybe not. Maybe we just get to the other side and we go, oh, I survived. Okay, great. Let's move on now. But either way, we are not sacrificing principle. We still see that that too is God. And so I say again, who are you? And if we expand our consciousness out and we find more infinite, and we reduce our consciousness down and we find more infinite, then it comes to fruition that the microcosm and the macrocosm mirror one another, right? And what's really, really cool about this is that science is showing us that this is actually true. And so what we have are some pictures, and the first picture that I want us to pull up is of the eyes. So these are pictures of eyes and nebulas. So on the left of each pairing is an eyeball, a human eye, and on the right is a galactic nebula. We are mirroring. The micro is mirroring the macro, or perhaps the macro is mirroring the micro. That we are literally made of the same things as the stars and the nebulas and the galaxies. And then this is a picture of a neuron and the known galaxy, or the known universe that we have mapped. So that on the left is one single neuron in your brain. And on the right is the entire known universe. Not galaxy, universe. And so then when I look at that, if that's one neuron and we have like billions of those in our minds, then how many universes exist that are all mapped together just like our neurons are that we don't even know about yet? Because that is just the known universe, and we only know a tiny percentage of things, and we don't know what we don't know. And then finally, and I think this one might be my favorite, the birth of a cell on the left and the death of a star on the right. And so what we see is that birth and death really look quite similar. And that in death there is birth, and in birth there is death, and everything is in this beautiful cosmic cycle. And so, speaking of the death of a star, every single element that is heavier than iron, which is most of them, has traveled through at least one supernova. We know that because at the beginning, when the Big Bang happens, there was only hydrogen and helium. That's it. And they came together and they made stars, which then burst, which then died as supernovas and came together as new stars, and died as supernovas and came together as new stars. And so everything, every single atom in this entire, every element, every atom, every cell, everything has traveled through at least one supernova, and probably more than one. So you are literally made of stardust. Now, like I said, there was hydrogen and helium, and we have hydrogen and helium in our bodies. So you might say, well, I have some hydrogen that didn't travel through a supernova. You're right. You might have some hydrogen or helium in your body that hasn't traveled through a supernova, but do you know what that means? That means that you are made of something that was in the Big Bang, that literally banged into existence at the beginning of time. So you are both timeless and deathless. You have traveled through multiple supernovas to be here sitting in this room. How profound is that? We are literally made in the image of the universe. We literally are the universe in form, showing up as supernovas exploding into existence over eons. So tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And I think that Martin Luther King Jr. is one of those people that knew who he was, that knew and knew that he knew that he knew. And yes, he still, didn't know 95% of himself or the infinite amounts diving into his depths, but I think that he is someone that dove into himself in a great degree that we have a lot to learn from. He has set an example for us. And so I have a little video for us today. I think we like to quote Martin Luther King Jr., and I love his work is amazing. I highly recommend Letters from a Birmingham Jail when he was in jail. And gosh, we could spend a lifetime just diving into the depths of his ideas and ideology, and this whole idea of a beloved community that we have been speaking about for 2 years now comes from Martin Luther King Jr. and from people before him. Oh, I can't remember who he got it from in this moment. But anyways, we could spend a lifetime just on his ideology. And so rather than quoting a lot of Martin Luther King Jr. quotes or this or that, I want to show y'all what's being done even today. So this was unveiled last week. I have a video for you.
A new day is dawning in Boston. A sculpture being unveiled in Boston Common called The Embrace. It was inspired by a photo of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King after he'd been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964.
What's striking to me about it is, of all of the images that you could have selected, you chose this one.
When they met here, they were people full of dreams, full of ambition, and full of hope. And they chose to actually commit those dreams to one another and to society. And that day was like proof that they'd done what it was all worth it.
That's right. The start of the dream is a love story in Boston. King and Scott were students and met on a blind date in 1951. They soon became inseparable and started their journey together toward a cause larger than themselves. For the sculpture, artist Hank Willis Thomas stripped away everything but the embrace.
Not everyone has arms and hands, right? But all of us have been embraced, right? All of us know what it's like to feel embraced.
This work is a collaboration between Thomas and the Mass Design Group. It beat out 125 other design proposals. The sculpture is made up of more than 600 pieces of bronze, welded together at a foundry in Washington State and shipped across the country in 7 pieces, then reassembled. The sculpture sits on a plaza made up of diamond-shaped pieces of granite designed to honor the African-American quilt-making tradition. All around, plaques featuring the names of local Boston civil rights heroes.
When you saw it for the first time, fully installed here, what was your reaction?
Oh, I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby.
Amari Paris Jeffries is the executive director of Embrace Boston, which is behind the project.
Boston has had a, shall we say, long and complicated relationship with race. How do we hope that this monument helps change that story?
There's about 7 million people that visit Boston Common every year. They might hear a story of patriots, they might hear a story of freedom, and they might stumble across this monument and hear the story of the Kings. This is about understanding Black people's place in this historic city.
The location of the memorial is just steps away from where Dr. King gave a speech before 22,000 people in 1965. Later today, Martin Luther King III and his wife, Andrea Waters King, will be there for the unveiling.
When you saw the renderings for the first time, what did you think?
I thought, this is a powerful image. Sometimes we are afraid to embrace, but for Dad and Mom to show us what embracing is, to have a manifestation of what they consistently did. It's that it really is about the manifestation of love. And Dad had, obviously, a love for his wife and family, but he had a love for humanity, and so did Mom.
It's also a reminder of the legendary couple's early years in Boston.
I would imagine it was a sweetness to that time. It wasn't very long after they were married and after they left Boston and settled in Montgomery, and then from there until the end of his life in 1968, it was a very public life.
That bond, now immortal, arms entwined, holding each other up, clinging to the dream.
A lot of people see a heart.
Oh, you're right. When people come and they experience this, what do you want them to take away from that experience?
I want them to take away the responsibility to carry on the legacy of the kings who were devoted to unconditional love, to community, to humanity, and to hope.
I mean, it really was just a beautiful piece of public art there in Boston that I got to see a few days ago. But it's also the image that they selected, and Martin Luther King III talked about this as well. The picture that they selected, there's so many pictures of Dr. King that we've seen over the years, but that one where he's smiling, we don't really see Dr. King smiling as much. And if you also notice, Coretta Scott King's holding him up. His weight is on her shoulders. So it's very important to Hank the artist to portray that part of the King story as well. So
it's beautiful and striking, and glad to see Coretta Scott King get her due as well.
Yes, more than a decade in the making, by the way.
And so this legacy lives on, and we get to know who we are and dive into ourselves, and then what is being called of us as we dive in. It's both, right? It's the diving down in and the expanding out. And so our internal voice becomes the universal voice. And that legacy that lives on, we are picking up the mantle and we are doing what is next to create this beloved community. And so I invite you into prayer. Feel free to close your eyes or soften your gaze. And Carl Sagan says, the cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself. And so what I know that I know that I know is that there is only oneness. There is only that one infinite, absolute, eternal thing going on. And I expand my consciousness out and out and out into the solar system and the galaxy and the universe and the multiverse and the whatever is beyond that. And all I find is more and more and more of that oneness. And then diving into myself, into the cells and the organs and the tissues and the systems and the elements and the atoms and the quarks and the everything else, all I find is more and more and more oneness. That is truly all that there is. And in every person's eyes, I see the universe. And in every person's heart, I hear the beat of the divine. And I know that we are that too. That this question, who am I, is so easy to answer with just a simple word of oneness. And yet it will take lifetimes to know truly who we are. And so I just breathe in the mystery and I allow it to hold us. For there to be comfort in the unknowing. For there to be love in the surrender. As we come together in this divine community, or this beloved community, to explore ourselves, to explore one another, and to continue to show one another God. And I am so, so grateful for this place to show up and to be oneness together, to be that individualized expression of spirit, to be the one in the many in the one. And so I simply just release. I let it go. I let it be. And so it is.
So the theme of universal voice, the voice of God, for me, a lot of times it is through music that I hear the voice of God, and so I trust I'm not alone on that, and that's what this song is about. music you bring me, the songs that you sing me, they fill me with wonder, and my sweet tears flow, revealing the magic. You've transformed what seems tragic into the evolution of my soul. I show you a problem. You say, don't worry. I repeat, what about this? And you blow me a kiss. And in that moment, that wide-angled moment, I just sink into your bliss. I just want to stay here where it's so clear. So clear. I want to be here where it's so clear. I want to stay here where it's so clear and bright and bright and bright and bright in your light, in your light, in your light, in your light. There's grace unfolding, truth revealing, the old pains unraveling. I'm finally healing. One step forward is all I need. Thank you for guiding me. There's nothing meager about one step. The music you bring me, the love that you sing me, the music you bring me, the truth you reveal to me, the music you bring me, it fills me with wonder, fills me with wonder, it fills me with wonder, fills me with wonder, fills me with wonder, wonder, wonder.
Beautiful, Jen. Thank you so much. So I allow that wonder to bring us into the time of our service for our gifts and our offerings, knowing that your presence here is a gift to this community. And so if you have a monetary donation for us this morning, there are several ways you can do that. You can put something in the basket if you're here in person. You can also click on this or scan this QR code, or you can go to celebrationcenter.org and click on the Give button. All of that is going to take you to our Secure Breeze website where you can make a donation. We also accept checks, money orders, stocks, anything else like that, and our address is there as well. And now I would like to invite Judy up for our affirmation and prayer.
So please join me in saying our offertory affirmation together aloud. This gift I give is God in action. I give it in joy. I give it in love. I give in faith. I give it knowing that I am blessed. And so I gratefully give. Oh, and these offerings are infinitely blessed. For as the giver opens their heart to give with that sense of love and sharing, compassion, We know that those gifts go forth and bring more light, more love into the world through all the ways that it travels from your hand, from your purse, through all of the places it goes in the center, out into the community, blessing and upholding the message, the celestial voice of God. We're so grateful to know that these gifts are dynamic and blessing not just the recipient, but the giver as well. So in love and gratitude, I just claim that each of us is blessed with great abundance as we allow this flow. And with love and gratitude, I let it go. And so it is.
Okay, please, if you feel like standing, or please at least sing with us on this beautiful song, A Light in This World by Donna Michael. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And we shine, and you shine, and you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. We are a light, we are a light, we are a light in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright.
And so repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening right now.
Something wonderful is happening right now.
I am one with the universe.
I am one with the universe.
I am infinite and eternal.
I am infinite and eternal.
I am loved and blessed.
I am loved and blessed.
I am grateful for the new year.
I am grateful for the new year.
And so it is.